Hi guys, I'm RHP.
I'm Aru.
And I'm RSN, and welcome to the Hoysala Stump Mic Conversations. So, tell me about you guys.
So I first started playing cricket with my dad when I was about 3 years old, and he's always loved cricket. He's loved it ever since he moved here from India. So that's how I first got into cricket, and Coach Vijesh and his academy gave me a great chance to start developing my game further, and then that's how I got into tournaments.
I first started at around the age of 7, 8. My dad and me were just playing baseball one day, and then out of nowhere, he said, "Let's start playing cricket." I used to play cricket when I was little, so I started playing, and then I kept loving the game. It was fun. I enjoyed it. And then my mom and my dad were looking for an academy around where I can kind of have more fun while playing and play games and get competitive with it. So we found Coach Vijesh and his academy, and then now I play with them, and it's really fun.
Yeah, and my journey really started when I was 3. My dad always putting up cricket games on the TV and me just watching, mostly the ads apparently. But um, anyways, as I grew older and older, my dad put me into uh cricket camps in India in Bangalore, where I lived until I was 8. And then we moved to the US. We started looking around for cricket anywhere available near Massachusetts. My dad met Coach Rajesh, our coach, at meeting with a bunch of groups of people nearby us. During that conversation, Coach Rajesh introduced us to a camp that does cricket here in Massachusetts called BGSC. We joined it. We started doing our own. We started learning. We started getting better. It was fun until my dad and a couple other people decided to try coaching us ourselves or themselves, where we further developed and had more fun and built better connections with all of our friends. Um, we built a strong group of people that we truly now connected to a deeper level now than just cricket. And then eventually, with a bunch of changes going on, with a bunch of new people moving in, coming out, finally met other coaches like Coach Raghu from Karnataka as well, playing at the state level, and other coaches coming in. And finally, we've built this organization.
Yeah, so Arush hasn't mentioned this, but he's actually been the nationals a couple of times, or just once, right?
Yeah. So I've been to the under 19 USA national tryout tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So there are multiple levels to get to that point. This was the final point to getting selected for the USA national U19 national team. However, I unfortunately didn't get selected, but at least that gives me further room for improvement for next year. So yeah.
And he was the only one in this region to get in it, which is really good. And everyone around him were really proud of him.
Thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, throughout that whole process of climbing up the ladder, um, who or what was your biggest inspiration, like a player or a coach or something like that?
100% my dad. Um, Really, this all started because of my dad, and all of the pushing and motivation I get is from my dad. Because only, or not the only reason I do it, but he's the main figure. Obviously, my father, I look up to him and everything. And since he's the one who brought me into cricket, of course, I'm gonna follow whatever he asks me to do, and that's mainly it. Because he's put in so much time and effort into this for me, I feel like I have to perform just for him,
Yeah.
basically.
Nice.
So yeah, how about you guys? I know both of you have been through a lot as well.
Yeah. I guess my inspiration, there's many cricket players internationally who have inspired me, but I think my parents, my mom, my dad both support me a lot while I'm playing. They really helped me move forward. Without their support, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. And I think some players like Virat Kohli, MS Dhoni, Sachin Tendulkar, those guys have really inspired me with their story and the way that they've come up from where they started from, and now what level and where they're at right now.
Mhm.
You?
Yeah,
Mhm.
so for me, cricket is very closely related to my family. My dad loves the game and he passed it down to me and my brother, and he's obviously taught me so much. And I don't know, with him, I kind of feel like he's been trying to teach me that he's teaching me lessons that aren't just related to cricket. He's teaching me a lot about life also. How if you want to become great at something, you're gonna have to put in a lot of work to get better. But I can't give him all the credit. My mom and my brother, they also sacrifice so much for me, and be I don't know how it feels for them to watch me on crick clubs and watching my score tick up or tick down eventually. I get out, but
Yeah.
I know they're always refreshing. Crick clubs, and they're my biggest fans. But also, like Arav said, players. For me, it's been Shubman Gill for a long time.
Yeah.
Arav knows I talk a lot about him. I just feel like I love the way he looks when he bats, and he just has so much confidence. And obviously, he's the number one batsman in the world right now. But I'm not a bandwagon. I've liked him for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, another thing for me is I love. Obviously, it's very not rare, but it's you have to work a lot for this to come. But I love playing for like the kind of like the dream of scoring 100 or winning something big. And so speaking of that, India just won the Champions Trophy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think about this performance from them?
I thought it was great. I mean, all our players played well accordingly. We had multiple performances in each levels. Like we had Kohli hitting 100, Rohit Sharma in the finals hitting 70, we had Shubman Gill performing. We had a bunch of bowlers playing. So yeah. What about you guys?
All right, I have one question for you. So I know you open. I'm sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
but so as an opener in watching Rohit Sharma bat, do you like what do you personally think is more important from a team perspective? Do you think it's important for somebody like Rohit Sharma? Like as Arish Naik said, he played so well in the finals. Do you think it's more important for him to give India like a good start up top, scoring like 40 or 50 off 20 and 30 balls? Or do you think it's important to have an opener like Shubman Gill who will take the innings deep?
I think both players are really important
Yeah, I agree.
for this because Rohit Sharma, his like there's roles in a team, and every player for our team to win, every player needs to make or accomplish their roles and whatever they've been given. So I guess Rohit Sharma's role in the team this Champions Trophy was going out there scoring the big runs in the power play, which is the first part of the innings where the field restrictions are on.
Exactly.
And I think Shubman Gill is just there in case of a topple of wickets or something happening. He's there to kind of secure. He's like the solid rock where everyone rotates around him. That's his role. And I think without him, Rohit Sharma would not be able to do what he was doing as well. So I think they both play a really big part in in India winning. And of course, then there's the rest of the batting lineup: Kohli, Shreyas Iyer. How did you like the way Kohli played in against Pakistan, India versus Pakistan?
I mean, it's not really a surprise. He's obviously I feel like he's built for all the big games. Of course, unfortunately, we didn't see him make runs in the final, but even in the T20 World Cup, he's been out of n- he hasn't been at his best for a while, but every big game India can always count on him. So it was no surprise for me to see him make runs against Pakistan.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I mean, he's the ultimate chaser, right?
Yeah.
Every time, every game, they call him the best finisher because of this. I mean, he always brings the game deep. He doesn't push too hard, trying to score runs, maybe like Rohit Sharma, but that's not his role. So he takes the game in deeper and deeper, scoring runs, keep on taking the scorecard until he has that solid base, and then he can finish with like a higher number of runs, like fours and sixes later on in the innings when it might be necessary.
Yeah,
so Arish, as you've played like out of all three of us, you've probably played the highest level of cricket. You've been to nationals, as he said earlier, and you've also played high level cricket and MSCO. So, from what you've seen, do you think do you think like what do you think makes what do you think makes a winning team? Like, what are the qualities that you've seen?
A winning team is having really that grit to win at first. If you don't want to win, obviously you're never going to win. If you don't believe you're going to win, no matter when
Yeah.
the game's gone, you're not going to win. So you first have to have that belief in you and your team. You got to believe in your team as well, that all of you guys can perform to your highest potential to win against any team, no matter who you're playing. Even if it's like Indian national team, if you don't believe you're going to beat them, for sure you're not going to win. But if you have that determination, one good ball, boom, Kohli's gone. And now you have like the momentum to keep on going. Just like that, the main part is to have that grit to win, but also believing in everyone else, your whole teammates, and also having each one of your players have a specific role on your team and making sure they complete that task. And even if one fails, it always happens. Everyone has a bad day. There's always people who can really protect them, as in replace them and fill in that role. So basically, with this type of team, it's like you cannot lose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think India also had a really good team bonding. As I said before, I think everyone in the whole team kind of played their role, and collectively, if you look at maybe some stats, if you look at like standings of players, I think India had players that were on the top of those standings, but I think that as collectively they did better because that's what made them win. So yeah,
Exactly, just like my point. Everyone played their role on the team, which is why they went so far and even won the finals.
Yeah, and I think if we're talking about India's like success in this tournament, we've only talked about the batter so far, but I don't think we can count the spinners out.
Mhm.
Like I thought on those Dubai pitches, obviously it was hard to play spin, but even um disregarding that fact of the pitch conditions and stuff like that, I thought they were bowling really well. And I don't know about you guys, but playing against good spinners that have good line and good length, it's hard to it's hard to
It's
do anything with it. You have to create your own options.
It's impossible,
Yeah.
actually. I've played against one of the best spinners ever. He was a left arm off spinner, and on a pitch where the ball turned about like
Mhm.
a solid like foot or two, it was impossible to play because his accuracy was like on point.
Yeah.
He wouldn't miss unless he wanted to purposefully bowl the ball fuller, maybe to make you hit. He'd keep on bowling that good length. And if you'd step out, I mean, it was a risk. It's spinning a whole foot away from you,
yeah.
easily a stumping opportunity.
I think that's the discipline that the Indian bowlers had.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you both of you guys, what are your opinions on this then? So obviously playing fast pace bowling that's coming short at your head, is that type of stuff more scary, or is it more scary to come up against a spinner who's making you look like an idiot and you if like the ball's turning, you can't pick him? What's more scary as a batsman to you?
I think it's all personal.
Mhm.
Personally, for me, I have issues with playing on the back foot or playing with short balls that come quick at me. Unlike how with spin, I actually enjoy playing against the spin. I feel like it's a challenge more than just like reading the ball and using my muscle memory to like hit the ball.
Yeah.
That's Playing against spin is more of like a mental game than a physical game. So I just feel like it's just more interactive,
Mhm.
almost more fun to do
Yeah.
so, and like take a step forwards or backwards to confuse a spinner and then score runs off of that.
Yeah, I guess what Arish is saying is I exactly think that too. I think that against a spinner, you have to use, as you said, your mind a lot. And cricket is like a lot of coaches say 80% mind game and 20% of the physical game. And I think um like against a spinner, you need to kind of, as a batsman, go into the spinner's head, see what he's gonna do or what they're gonna do. And I think as a and when you're playing like a short ball that's coming at your head, you could like at max leave the ball by ducking down. But I guess if you're looking at an overall perspective, I would say that spin, as much as it's fun to play it, I think that might be one of the hardest for
Agree.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So both of you guys mentioned how playing against spin bowling, it requires a lot of like mental strength and discipline. So what do both of you guys do? Obviously, cricket is a sport that requires a lot of physical strength and endurance and stuff. But how do you guys train your mental strength and how do you guys build discipline?
It's all about just staying calm, thinking only about the game. Don't get distracted by like people outside yelling and screaming.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of parents sometimes that yell from outside about like stepping forwards or like hit the ball, even though uh, they're not really aware of what's going on in your head and what's going on in the bowler's head. So you just have to keep to yourself, focus exactly on that ball at that specific moment and cut off all distractions. And it's just about not being too stressed, not being too nervous, but not being overconfident or anything. You just have to focus on what's going on in front of you instead of what's going on in like the back of your mind.
Yeah, I agree. I think you have to keep yourself calm in situations like that where I would say a lot of the wickets that go for as a batsman is because of the lack of concentration that is put into their playing the ball. And I think being as focused as possible is the like proper, or not proper, like the way that you should be as keeping your mind calm. And I think, yeah, and I think that like keeping your being I think being calm is the best way to tackle those difficulties. How do you think um India might have felt, like, as we're talking about um calmness and the mental stress that goes in? India lost in 2023 again in the finals, and it was, I mean, for fans and for India, it was a big, really tough moment because they did really well. How do you think they had to take that mental stress and now use it, like get rid of it and now win the Champions Trophy here?
So yeah, so I mean, cricket in India, it's like it's just built into your life. It's like everywhere. Even if you play cricket, if you watch cricket, whatever, cricket in India, it's always just there. So losing a big game like that, being undefeated in the group stage, winning all your semifinal games, and then to lose like that at home, I'm sure it must have been. I mean, it was obviously heartbreaking for all of us, but as players, I'm sure they felt really like bad and really sad. But I also think that it's not just a thing about cricket, it's a part of any sport. Whichever you're playing, there's always going to be ups and there's always going to be downs. And I think that's something that India's done really well in the past few years. They've recovered really well from that. And winning the T20 World Cup recently, I mean, obviously it's not going to bring that trophy back that we lost, but I think they're doing the best they can to make up for the loss in winter 2023. But yeah, I think recovering from that is hard, but I think as they've represented the country for a long time, they're experts at what they do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, another part of a winning team is every team has their ups and downs, acts like failures and everything. And another part of becoming a good team, good people, is coming back from these downs and bring yourself back up. That's probably the hardest part
Mm.
for people when you lose confidence in yourself, and bringing up that confidence by believing in yourself and performing again and again to bring up that confidence is a really important part, especially in cricket.
So you like like you said, it's important to kind of like build yourself back up from a failure.
Hmm.
So how do you guys feel about Varun Chakravarti's story about how he's been in the Indian side a few times before, but he got called up for this tournament and nobody really knew if he was going to play or not. But then when India played him, he performed so well in all of his matches.
Yeah, I think what he did was he had opportunities in the past luck wasn't on his side and he wasn't able to kind of make the best opportunity of it. But he got an opportunity again, which a lot of people don't get, and he used that to his ability. Took 5 wickets, got in the team semifinals and finals. He was in there and he played a crucial role. And I don't think without him, I don't know if India might have even won. He broke crucial partnerships that would have maybe even taken the game away from India.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, a lot of these players come and go on the US or I mean on the India national team. Happens all the time. I remember KL Rahul had a couple bad games and boom, he was dropped off the squad. I mean, there's so much competition in India. Like, I mean, almost everybody plays and there's like a billion people in India. So the competition's so high that even a couple unperformed games can get you off the squad, but every time you have that, if you ever have that opportunity to go back and perform again, you gotta really utilize that one opportunity you get to show that you do deserve to be on the team. And I feel like Chakravarti did that, and KL Rahul's done that as well. And yeah,
Yeah. Because I think that's one of the reasons cricket is such a unique sport is I feel like it's one of the only sports where it's really hard to get a second chance, especially as a batsman. You come out, even if you've prepared for years and years, you face one amazing ball, your off stump is gone, and now and you feel bad about yourself. So I think
And the
cricket,
next day you're out of the team.
yeah, yeah. So I think cricket is a sport where it's all about making your chances count, and all of us have obviously experienced that in zonals and whatever matches we play. So yeah.
Yeah, I think on that, I think cricket also teaches like great lessons, life lessons. Like I wouldn't have learned half of the things I know right now if I hadn't played matches. And compared to a lot of other people, like in my in my grade that don't play cricket, they really like I really have a lot more experience in terms of not just sports, in terms of failures, handling them, life skills. So I think it's really a unique sport.
yeah. I think cricket, just like many other sports, really do bring or build strong relationships with each other. Cause I mean, it's one of the biggest team sports. I know you only have two people out there batting at once, but I truly believe like without good chemistry on a cricket team, without following like the leaders and working together, it's impossible to win. And cricket really builds those connections with each other, bringing people up when they're low, when they have one bad over, or when they get out. It's all just connections and a lot of you build a lot of people skills while you're playing, especially with other teams. Um, most teams, at least in our levels, have couple friends that here and there. So really, um, playing all these games, build these connections with even other people that we might have never met. Like someone from California might become like our best friend or stuff like that. Like I know a lot of people from Miami and Houston and things. And speaking of other teams mixing well, how about we talk about India and Pakistan?
Um, I mean, obviously it's very complicated relationship between not just the cricket teams and the fans, but also like the countries. But I don't know. I think that the players just kind of they have to treat it as any other game, and they just have to walk in there and you know just trust themselves to do what they do best. And I also feel that I don't know how much um they really fire themselves up just because it's an India Pakistan game. I think when you're coming out to represent your country, you always have that same
Fine.
fire. And I think that it's more of the media and the fans that make India Pakistan such a big deal. But I mean, to be fair, I feel like it's such a fun game because it's so hyped up.
Yeah, it's so hyped, as you said, and it's like the whole vibe around you just changes because of the match. And I think around us, everyone, parents, siblings, friends, family, everybody just comes together as one. It sometimes is even treated more than a final would be because it's such a huge game for both sides. But as you said, I don't think the players have to kind of play as they're just friends, but they're rivals at the same time. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I truly believe that the media's been pushing this probably because of the history that we have had with Pakistan, including all the politics and everything. There was a lot of conflict in like the 2000s and like early 2010s where India and Pakistan had a lot of conflict with like a lot of battles, like physically, even. I mean, it was the players hated each other. But nowadays, I feel like everyone's been mellowed down and they're more friendly, at least in the field. And I don't think that hatred that they used to have is still there. However, the media pushes because that's just what the media does.
Yeah.
I mean, they want all the likes and everything, so they push for things like these beefs or these rivalries
Yeah.
that barely even exist anymore.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a rivalry with somebody from another team?
From another team, I mean, I can't really say because I feel like I've just I've had like good connections with other
Yeah.
people. And there's been people like Wesley Jackson and Adnit Jam that I can remember who are great cricketers and they're amazing. And I've fought with them for like most runs and things like that, but they're truly on different
Yeah.
levels.
I
Yeah.
think that point about connections is such a big part of sports, and obviously you haven't played with me and Ara much because we're in different age groups, but
Yeah.
I know we have some pretty
Yeah.
interesting memories from hotels. When we go on tournaments, going to the pool. Remember playing wall ball
Yeah,
on the side of the store.
there's a game in the actual game, and then there's a game outside of the game. It's like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that's just one like I don't think that's something that makes cricket like unique. I think that's something that I see in all sports, and that's why I think it's like really important for everybody to at least try out a sport because you really meet so many new people, and oftentimes they become some of your like lifelong and best friends.
Exactly. That's why I actually agree with that because the connections you make on the field are great, but it really is outside of the field
Yeah.
during those like after the games, after matches, when you're just chilling in the pool and stuff like that, where you really build those connections.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how do you feel about how cricket is gonna grow in the U.S.? Do you think we'll ever see? Do you think you'll ever play in the Champions Trophy for U.S. one day?
I mean, there's always hope. There's always a couple of years. It's not an easy task, especially how USA has been growing further and further, and like how we beat Pakistan recently. And I mean, USA is becoming a big sport here in the here, and the challenge is just gonna get higher and harder,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna be easy.
I guess the main goal, yeah, I guess the main goal for all of us actually is playing on the USA team, and I think we hope and we want to play for USA, and USA we hope they're gonna get a Champions Trophy, and everyone around try it out. I mean, it's a great game, and spread their word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.